Two, one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to F Shot Central. Here today with our special guest Wariosvug. How you doing today?
Doing well, gents. How are we doing?
Great, great. So,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah, what a crowd, what a crowd. But we're just here to ask you a couple questions. Majority about the BMHL. We'll just start off quickly. How do you think things have been running since you've been on more of a higher up role?
Yeah, I've been in this role since late season 10, and honestly, it's a learning experience. I like to think that we're going in a positive direction. A lot of things we're still trying out to see what the best fit for the league is, and it's very different because I've ran leagues in the past, and obviously it's nowhere near the amount of teams, nowhere near the amount of players, nowhere near the amount of business that's involved. So really, it's a learning process for me. But I like to think that we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think the BMHL has improved since you've taken over. Obviously, with Banana CB's absence from the league over the past couple years, it's been very questionable. How do you feel that with the staff that you've brought along since season 10? Do you think it's helped you or hindered you in a sense so far?
So really, the only staff that was there for season 10, 11, 12 was just myself and Ban. Zatterby actually picked up some of the load in season 12. But this season is like our first season where I really had to delegate responsibilities and bringing on guys like Atano, Trojan, Gummy. They've done some phenomenal work, and the season would not have been possible without them.
Yeah, I think going on to that, I think they've ran the league pretty well, and I think obviously when the season started, it was very questionable with the new auto game coming in and everything, and working out all the bugs. But how do you feel? How do you feel about the league's advancement going into more seasons? Do you think this is something that you'll see going forward, or do you think you'll see yourself out of the league here shortly?
In terms of me individually, or just the progress of development for the league in
I would,
general?
I would, I would say the progress and development. Obviously, we all are
Yeah.
from starting in our Triple HL back in 2012 and stuff like
Yep.
that to now we're already in 2025. So I think it's something. Do you still have aspirations if Banana CB decides to kind of move over the role to you to take over the league? Do you think you would want to continue it for more seasons, or do you think you're going to put a limit on it? Obviously, you going into your life, do you think that's something you'd want to continue?
Unfortunately, I can't do this forever, and it's tough to put a timestamp of when exactly my time here is finished. Um, and that's why I'm just kind of slowly giving away my responsibilities towards some people that I personally trust. And again, I'll reiterate that they've done just such a phenomenal job. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how many of them will be around next year. I think a majority will, but they'll take more of an administrative role rather than a team owner or a player. So I do appreciate them doing that for us. But just in terms of myself, again, it just can't put a timestamp. I mean, I'm in a really good spot where my job is super flexible. I make a good amount of money. I'm comfortable, and this has really become one of my hobbies on my off time whenever I can do it. It feels like a part to full time job, believe it or not. It feels like every time I go to work for 8, 9 hours a day and then come home and work this for 4 or 5 hours. It's definitely takes a lot to maintain the league and drive it in the right direction, like we've been doing. So I just think that when that time comes when I move on, I need to make sure that the person understands the commitment, understands how to take that leadership role. And it's super, super difficult in the community like this, considering, well, we know the average personality in the BMHL, and it's just super tough to pick one or two people out that'll eventually take the reins, and that's all I really got to say about that.
All right, yeah, I think that's you definitely said it the way I thought you would have. Obviously, you're not setting an end date for the BMHL, but we can kind of speculate that it's somewhere in the near future that the BMHL has been slowly dwindling down, obviously, as we all get older. But I do have another question for you. I got maybe one or two more. What are your thoughts on the recent Volano Beach Voyagers, Cool Bray, and Diamond Man allegations? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's no longer an allegation. It was proven that they did it, so we'll start with that. They
Correct.
both
Yeah, it's
they did both admit it. That is a true fact that they in fact did it. I think that it's unfortunate for them. Listen, I have no animosity towards them. It's just I would have really appreciated. It would have been a lot better had they just not done it in the first place, but it would have certainly made Villano's situation a lot better when their entire team tried to cover it up. You know, try to sweep it under the rug, try to make excuses. Soar didn't do much of that. However, a lot of the teammates did. And quite honestly, if someone just told the truth right off the bat, there's probably a good chance that they would still be playing and competing right now. But it's just the fact that so many of the Volano Beach players reached out to me and like started reading me off different narratives of where Coolbray was, what's going on with Diamond Man, his laptop. I just wasn't listening to it. I don't appreciate the lying, and I don't know how many times we need to punish people for them to understand that if you just tell me the truth, the punishment is not bad. Like I like to think I'm a very fair person, but as soon as someone lies, that's where it gets personal, and when those personal vendettas take place, suspensions can go on longer than what they have to be. So again, if they just told the truth, if they were honest, they would definitely still be here right now.
okay. That's where we kind of had assumed. We knew that it was kind of obviously playing in that game. It something was off, and kind of just took a risk on that alt check and went our way and got a little bit more out of it. But yeah, I got one more question. What are your thoughts on the recent goal in the St. John Wheeling Thunderbirds game? I believe it was the game that tied it, the goal that tied it. There was a lot of speculation that it did not go in the net. What are your thoughts on the AI system the BMHL has? Do you think that was uh, a legit, or do you think it was an illegitimate flaw with AI?
Um, Depends on how you look at it. So there's the common sense route, and then there's the statistical, route. The common sense route is we all saw it. It looked like no goal. It did not go in the net. No part of the puck went into the net on our screens. On Atano's screen, it did go in the net, right? So his client registered that, hey, that puck fully crossed the line. It didn't show it for us because that's just how technology works. Basically, a client sends information to the server, and then the server replicates that information to the clients, right? So on Atano's client, it went in, and on the server, it went in, but the server did not replicate it to all the clients that it went in. Whether it be a FPS thing or it's just a replication flaw because it replicates every 0.0001 second, and if in that 0.0001 second it goes in the net and it just doesn't replicate, then that's what the server is going to call. So that's the statistical, that's the technological approach to it. Next season, that's going to change, right? The reason why we didn't go with the common sense route this season is because of the fragility of the auto game. Whenever we stopped play, the game would break. Whenever we tried to set a face off, the game would break. Now that the game is in a significantly more stable state, what we're going to do next season is that we will allow challenges, and it's going to be the same exact thing. You get one challenge. If you have a timeout, you burn the timeout. If you don't have a timeout, it's a 2-minute penalty. So just rest assured, we will be moving towards a more common sense route next season. We can't do it this playoff simply because we would be changing a pretty groundbreaking rule that we've stuck by the entire season, and that would just skew results. And we just don't want that. We want consistency throughout the season.
Correct. I see where you're coming from. So then, does that mean going into season 14 that you're going to have the game supervisor recording, or are you going to have some sort of replay software inside the game through AI?
Definitely not through AI. We would have to go back to the recording. Luckily, we record just about every single game now on our TikTok. we'll probably be using that recording the most. However, yes, we're going to be moving back to the recording route. And then it's going to be one of those things where if the supervisor didn't record or, it didn't, no one has a good recording of it, we now have if it's inconclusive, what was the call on the ice? The AI said it was a goal. It's a goal, right? So in the case no one's recording, it's still what AI says goes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'll let the other guys ask you a couple more questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Biz.
All right, so I just have a couple questions for you. Obviously,
Sure,
starting with
Joe.
the first one. What are your thoughts on Toby Dog getting blacklisted?
To get blacklisted? I didn't even know. What was his blacklist?
Or wait, no, I read it wrong. Justin Fried Chicken getting blacklisted.
Yeah, he's getting blacklisted for vote kicking me in pubs. I was not appreciative of that.
It's super
No, yeah,
unacceptable.
it's unacceptable. No, he's not blacklisted. That's just rage bait, which he knows it's a joke.
Lovely, lovely. And again, last night we had Banana CB on the podcast, and he gave us some vital information about next year, on how about the draft and all of that other stuff.
Oh
So
boy.
going into season 14, as you talked about, like challenges, etc., would we be possibly seeing more commands with the AI and giving them like the buttons for supervisors for like to give penalties out if that's not in the system yet?
It's already in the system. Penalties are in the system. It needs to
Gotcha,
be
gotcha.
tweaked, but it isn't. But it is in the system.
All right, that's
But
it for
so
me.
just to add a little bit to that though is again we're trying to limit the amount of stoppages that there are, and we're going to try and make it as uh, the flow as the game flow as nice as possible. So one thing that we're not going to be seeing next season are the too many bends where the sticks going through the boards. I want to fix that where that's impossible to happen. Whether it be the same thing that we do in the penalty box where you just can't go into player mode on the bench, and then when you hit that line change button, you go into player mode. It's probably the route that we're going to go in. So again, it's impossible to get those too many bends. But other than that, everything else is basically going to stay the same. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I got. I think that's the only big manual penalty that we've seen. Another big one that we're going to be doing is roughing after the play. We're thinking. I don't think we're going to go towards it, but maybe if you hit someone after the play, it could be considered roughing on the person, or we're just simply going to eliminate that factor. A lot of team owners have complained to me about it. I haven't done anything about it simply because it takes away a lot of the game. So I might just make it so you can't ragdoll someone, but you can still push and shove after the play and whatnot. It sucks because I know a lot of people have fun with it, but it is an unfair advantage to the team receiving the hit. So again, we're going to try and maybe expand penalties a little bit. I think that maybe our delay of games, if it doesn't hit the glass and it goes out of play, maybe that's something we can consider since the boards were fixed and it's less likely for it to happen. Again, just all speculation and it's still in the works. So we should have plenty of time to implement things that are in the noggin right now.
Of course. Thank you. After these guys go up, if you want, we're gonna have some people from the audience ask you a couple questions if
Sure.
you'd like.
Yeah, no worries. Sounds like fun.
I do. Sorry about that. Where I do have one more question. With the trapezoid, do you guys have barricades for the goalies to not, or like invisible walls to not go in the corner?
Correct.
Okay.
Excuse me. I don't. Ben may have removed it, and he may have removed it because of the. He removed it for some reason. I'm pretty. There's supposed to be. I don't think that there are anymore. I haven't seen any goalies
Okay.
get stopped, but not a lot of them are doing it anyway. But you did remind me that's a pretty critical issue if they're not in play. So I'll have to check on that
Yeah.
after the podcast.
I do have one question about that. Obviously, going back to obviously that is a trap penalty if you play the puck outside of that, inside that trapezoid in the corner.
Yep.
Do you think possibly going into it of removing those and going more of a college aspect of removing the trapezoids, giving the goalies a little bit more leeway in playing room? Because obviously when you add in those barriers and stuff, it kind of takes out the legitimate factor of everything and kind of puts the goalie at a disadvantage if they do go out into the corner to play the puck, to where then
Honestly,
they get blocked off.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think that definitely something to talk about. It certainly lightens the load on us by just allowing them to go in the trapezoid. You don't see many goalies doing it, and there's goalie hitting now. So if you get trapped out in the corner, goalie's fair game. So
Correct, and I think that might add a little bit more fun to the game, and the goalie's not as restricted anymore. I know there's lot of times that I've seen some goalies do, some goalies don't. Depends on the person playing, but I think that would be something that could possibly be a test run in off season, see how it goes, see if people like it, and if people like it, implement it into the season. If not, just keep it where it's at, but it also minimizes the amount of penalties you'd have to.
yeah, no, I like the idea, and I think that if we as long as we announce that early, we shouldn't have any issues with that. So I'll bring it up to the team, and we'll see what they think.
Definitely. I don't know if any of these guys have any more questions. I believe Phoenix. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I had a couple kind of actual questions and then just one kind of like joke question. But
Sure.
I'll put that last.
All right, go ahead.
This question's probably been answered like a million times. I've just been curious when you guys are looking at starting the next season.
Yeah. So this season is projected to end mid-September, maybe late September. It's a little later than what we would have liked it, but obviously we're seeing a lot of action with a lot of games seemingly going to Game 6, Game 7, which is great. Obviously, we love the round one action. So if it ends in September, we're going to hopefully try and spin it up, or let's just call it October 1st, rather. Let's just say the season ends October 1st. We're shooting for a 2-month break period, okay? And that's the latest. So the reason why this off season was actually pretty short. Usually there's 6 months. This one was 3.5 to 4 months. Again, we want to reduce that down to 2 months, and a lot of that is simply going to be administrative stuff. So the first week, it's going to be finding team owners, getting teams together. Once we have the teams together, we can then start thinking about pre-signs. That's going to be a week. After pre-signs, we're going to have a draft. Once the draft is done, we're then going to enter a free agency period. And so we kind of have to strategically time this where everyone's still interested in the teams that they play for, and they have enough time to scrimmage, get prepared, get used to the new gameplay. Most importantly, go into pubs, and it also provides us time to implement the changes that we want. We have some pretty meaty projects that we have going into the off season. Nothing that directly affects the gameplay, just tweaks here and there. But for the most part, our foundation to the game is pretty much complete. Competitive, super competitive, which we love. Higher scoring than last year. No more 1-0s, 2-1s. We're starting to see some higher scoring games, which is great. Not so much the playoffs, but still seeing a lot of shots get on net, tons of action. That's what we're looking for. But we're just going to tweak things more towards the forwards. Again, we want to give forwards more of an advantage. We want to see high action, high hitting type deal. And that's just what we're going to focus on for that 2 months. So.
Okay.
We're going to work hard for it.
So, sorry about that. But with your planned 2-month break period, we could be looking at possibly multiple seasons in a year coming up?
Correct. Yeah, we talked about it. We want 2.5 seasons a year.
And also, one last kind of like serious question. For the goons of the league, such as myself, are we going to see fighting back sometime soon?
I'd like to. It kind of worked. It just it broke when people left the game and whatnot. So we're gonna have to look into it, and it's. I would definitely like to see it. It's just defining the parameters of when someone can fight. We noticed too many fights last year. Too many people just doing it because it's not good. And it's a huge problem with our current system is that we can only fit 2 penalties. I have no clue what happens after a team gets a third penalty. I just don't know what happens. It might just break the game. So when you have those line brawls after the play, I recognize that it's probably going to break the game. So we would have to rethink our entire logic with the score keeping and whatnot for fighting, and adding penalty slots even though they don't show on the scoreboard, that sort of thing. So it's a new system that we'd have to develop. That's unfortunately not our priority at the moment, but I really do want to see it come back. But it's just going to be stricter on when you could fight, whether it be hitting the opponent's goalie or hitting someone after the play, and only that person can fight you instead of someone else sticking up for you. It's something that we'll have to discuss.
Okay. And then just one kind of like joke question here. How are you gonna plan at getting back at Trojan for, that ridiculous statement saying that you failed your Fire Academy test?
Man, I don't know if you guys saw. I think it was F shot. Did he say that in F shot Central of my fire exam? Yeah, as you guys can see in the F shot media, I posted my firefighter certification and my fire officer certification. So I passed my firefighter fitness test, and to add on, class of 30, I got 12th, believe it or not. Did not do so good at the pull-ups. I got 0 pull-ups. However, we won't talk about that, but push-ups, sit-ups, jumping, and the 1.5 mile run. The 1.5 mile run, I got like 16th out of 30th, so I was pretty proud of myself. As a bigger dude and being able to keep up with the average Joes, I'll take it.
Glad to hear.
I don't think keeping up with the average Joes is not trying to shoot at you, but you should at least be able to get 1 pull up. Not even a chin up.
I can't do it. I can't even do it, bro. I just can't do it.
Man, come on.
I got a lot of meat on me, bro. I'm not a small dude.
Wario face reveal.
Not right now. Fuck no, not right now. I'll
tell you what, Wario. I'll tell you what. You ever want to get back at Trojan, let me know. I'll post something in media.
I have nothing to hit back at him, honestly.
It just can't be about him showering because he barely does that.
Yeah, we can spin something up about that, bro. I smell him through my computer sometimes.
Okay, moving on.
That's it for me. That's it.
Perfect. Going on.
All right, I don't know if L Coop's gonna go, but Wario, would you be? Ooh.
My mic got messed up. Go ahead, Tendy.
All right, I was just gonna open it up. Wario, would you be interested in answering a handful of fan questions?
Bring them in.
All right, so just a friendly reminder. Let's keep everything respectful and appropriate. Remember, you are live. Just go ahead, raise your hand, request to speak, and we'll bring you up to the stage.
I just realized that like 4 people in the audience that I've blocked right now. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm shocked you don't have me blocked yet.
Yeah, you were getting there.
Wario, you have me blocked, right?
Yeah, you're blocked from me.
Yeah, can I ask why?
You annoyed the crud out of me.
Dude,
I'll
come on,
unblock. Let me unblock you and find out why.
No,
you don't want to do that.
No,
Liam.
No. I just gotta delete some messages.
Sticks can't break on mobile. Fix it now. It's unfair. N-word. Fix it.
Okay, that's a disconnect for him. Let's any other fans like to ask any questions to our good friend Wariosvug, CTE Wario.
I think Pigseed should. I really think he should.
Oh, Coop, just ask your question real
Wow,
quick.
you are not a fan favorite tonight.
I just did. Oh, Wario. Who's the biggest MX you think?
Okay, not answering that question. Please leave.
Why not, bro?
Just say Snipes.
Because you know what it means.
Alright,
All right. I believe that.
I did say that live on TikTok, not knowing what that means. There's several clips of me.
Yeah, let's not.
yeah.
All right, we have Pig Cedic. Invite you up to speak here. Go ahead and make sure to keep it appropriate and respectful. Are you going to Okay. Thank you.
I don't.
Never mind. All right, Wario. I believe that might be it for the evening. No other fans like to ask any more questions. Anything else from anybody else? El Coop, Phoenix. You guys got anything?
I will ask one question, or well, maybe a couple.
Sure.
So I know how you were talking about having a draft next year and the tiering system. So last night we were talking about the tiering system. So I know that you were thinking about only having one tier. Is that still a possibility?
No, not at all. I never. I said that we could definitely go to a 24 team tier one. I
Yeah.
think that it's possible that we could do that. However, I'm evaluating what people with the feedback that I've received, and what's likely going to happen is we're probably going to have a 16 team tier one with an 8 team tier two, and tier two is only going to be for those who have never played BMHL before, want to get their feet wet. I mean, here's the statistics, boys. I mean, 3 months ago, our Discord had 1,900 members, right? We start streaming, we start marketing, we start pushing that growth, and now all of a sudden we're at 2,600, right? So we increased the Discord by 33% in the span of 2 or 3 months. So that leads me to believe that we could start identifying a gap between, okay, what is considered tier one versus what is considered tier two. So we really want tier two to be, you've never played this game before, you're just there to improve, to develop. And one thing that you guys are going to see is that we're going to devalue tier two. We're not going to stream their games. They're not going to have arenas. They're going to have jerseys. But again, we're going to steer away from giving tier two the attention, and we're going to move towards a tier one focused league, and with tier two solely being development. That was our plan. However, nothing is set in stone until we open up player registrations.
Wario, real quick. We have a couple people in the stage chat asking or recommending just like, why not just bring back tier 3 in that case?
Yeah. Tier 3 was a failure when we implemented it. Tons of vaulting, tons of problems. There's more management overhead to it. And again, there's plenty of people who deserve to be in tier 1 that are currently in tier 2 right now. So it's more of a headache on us. Statistics are a pain in the ass. And again, to manage 3 tiers is a little bit too much for us.
Got it.
Do have one.
Go ahead, Tendy.
Oh, which call? Do you believe that the Motor City Frog stings are gonna choke?
Shut up.
I don't know.
We're not arguing.
I'm not
Oh,
going
I
to
actually have a serious question. I have a serious question. Will affiliates like ever be back or no?
A good question. I'll get back to you guys on that. As of right now, probably not right now. We may see a time when the tiers are even again. If there's an even 12 and 12, then possibly. But for 16 and 8, we just can't do it. You're gonna have unfair advantages unless one tier 2 team can have 2 tier 1 teams. That would be the only way it works.
All right, no, that makes sense. Would you have some time to speak privately after this? Just about a couple things to add for next season.
Sure.
All right, perfect. I'll send you a message. Just a couple things with the league, but I think we'll answer one more question and then probably wrap it up for the night.
Action. State your question.
Axken's also blocked from my W.
I'm pretty sure he's
Wait,
blacklisted.
Isn't Wario? Didn't Wario block me? Can he not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, buddy.
Fuck, I forgot.
All right.
Oh.
I'm sorry for that.
That's not in your word book yet. Okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah. You gonna ask him a question?
Let me remember. Wait, let me
Oh.
remember. Can you give me a second? Sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And already gone.
Oh.
So, I have one more question. That's gonna be it for me, and then that should be it for all of us tonight, unless there's some other people that have a question. So,
We're gonna cap it at 1 here. Just have Gerald. You can answer your question, then we'll cap it.
yeah. So what do we? So we've been. I know that you've been talking to the BMHL staff and a lot of people about the exploiters in auto game. What are we gonna do about
Yep.
that?
So, which depends on which exploiting you're talking about.
So like,
Is it
for
like
example,
people that like the people that fling people on the ice and whatnot?
yeah, that stuff.
So we are developing something right now. It's just super difficult with the way the player rigs are set up. Well, I guess not really. We would just have to check. I guess the body velocity. We're working on it. We're trying to make a foolproof system. Right now, we have one that just gives way too many false positives, meaning that they falsely alert that someone's exploiting when they're really not. So we're trying to find a good system that can accurately read when someone is flinging people on the ice.
All right. Tandy, is we gonna call it?
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it there for the night. Thank you very much, Wario, for your time this evening, and that is F Shot Central today at 8 of 18, August 18th, 2025. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, or whatever time it is for you. Have a good night.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for
Yep.
coming.
Thank you, Wario.